Fishbowl filibusters. What are they? Why do we need to address them? What are the solutions to them? Let's get into it. What's good, everybody? It's your man Ronin back with another one. And salute to all my veterans across the board. Pray you guys are okay. If you're in the Midwest, hope you're not snowed in. Stay warm. For the best sleep, which I'm going to order, I would suggest a weighted blanket. And to all subscribers, both new and old, salute to you guys. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. So, what are fishbowl filibusters? So let's break this down step by step. Now, when it comes down to a filibuster, it's a noun or verb. It's an act of an obstructive manner in legislation or legislature, usually by speaking an inordinate length, i.e. stalling tactics, speechifying, obstruction, kicking the can, stonewalling, and etc. So let's go down a little further. The kicking the can, which seems to be a common practice in this space and abroad. It's a phrase, putting off confronting a difficult issue or making an important decision, typically on a continuing basis, i.e. accountability dodgeball. I'm sure you guys are familiar with that term. Now, just in case, speechifying is the making of speeches, especially because you want to appear important. Now, that in of itself is another video, so I'm going to let that be. For example, as far as fishbowl filibusters. Now, this is usually on the feminist side, but this is not gender specific. For example, you'll see as when you hear a chick say, "As for me and my friends," and all variations of the Walt, not all women are like that virus, etc. The not all nonsense. Now, here's when it comes down to the meat of it. The fishbowl symbolizes the intentionally stale delusions that said people thrive in for the sake of confirmation bias, the need to dodge accountability, and fear of reality. To paint a solid picture, the reason I visioned this as a fishbowl is you have people who are, when I always create the phrase, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. If you notice in a fishbowl, you go to your pet store, whatever, even the one at your house. Certain fish, or most fish, can only grow a certain size because of that small, allegedly safe environment, which, again, you get all the attention you want. If someone's there to feed it, you'll get all the food you need. But there are consequences to living in that fishbowl. You'll need assistance, such as an algae eater, a filtration system, because you notice that they lack those needed supplies. The air becomes toxic. I put that in context as far as the fishbowl filibuster because a lot of times, a lot of people are comfortable eating, swimming, and sleeping on their own shit. As you grow, you notice billions, trillions of skin cells die every day. That's where you get dust, but that goes into nature shows. So what happens if you're in the same old comfortable waters, allegedly? What are you taking in? Your growth is limited. And if you do have enemies, opposition, mainly yourself, means you're an easy target. They'll get you when they're ready to get you. Now, me growing up, I was used to watching the Weather Channel, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, Animal Planet, Mr. Wizard, and a myriad of other intellectual stimulating shows, Schoolhouse Rock, the ABC After School Special, going to planetariums, the Children's Museum, learning about the stars, all a myriad of things, and even having an affinity to reading things as far as Greek mythology and a few facets of history as a kid. Now, the reason I wear glasses often is because my goofy ass wanted to try to discover sunspots with a regular telescope. But that's how hungry it was to learn about the world. But a lot of us are taught or become comfortable in the so-called illusion of comfort in our little fishbowls. Now, you have a lot of women who always get offended about the truth, arguing about, making the assumption about absolutes, because again, it's like if it doesn't feel good, most will sit there and fight back. However, I'm speaking to the men, especially. When it comes to us, we dabble in that a little bit, but in myriad of ways. And not just interpersonal. It's how we move, how we think, i.e., procrastination. And it takes a myriad of forms. It's the act of delaying something that you should do, usually because you don't want to do it, i.e., unaccountable. Now, as veterans, military veterans, we already have a term for, or many terms of that. It could be formed with Blue Falcon being a buddy fucker, or you call them a shitbird. These individuals who don't want to do what they're supposed to do, and someone who is unaccountable is outright dangerous, both in peacetime and war. And we talk about in the context of spiritual warfare, which is why I talk about the Fishbowl Filibuster. Many males, make justifications as to why they are fearful of stepping outside their comfort zone. That's why I make myself and others make fun of Jonathans who want to promote this trick culture. This is why in this space, you have individuals who are unwilling or unable to get outside. Online, you could be anything except credible. Because if your actions, words, and intent don't work in concert, you know you're full of shit. And this is why a lot of guys are catching the flack they're catching. I salute my brothers, Chief Stay Sleep, Walt Diddy, the #1 grinder, and a myriad of other guys out here, LAR Movement, Black Man Vent, Case on Black, Wacky World of O, The Villain's Fear, salute to you guys. A myriad of others who tell people to hold your own nuts and actually live life. See, imagine how it is, and I get it. Some guys are not built to experience the ocean. But as in life, you do realize, as vast as the ocean is, we've only charted and explored 5% of it. Which means there's 95% that we don't know, as in life. You have too many of us brothers mainly who are still stuck in that fishbowl, trying to be the biggest beta fish in that bowl. Fish like that couldn't survive outside the fishbowl. But see, we as men, we're supposed to oppose environment. And this is why you start doing the things that you really need to do. #1, start making your bed, for example. See, when it comes to the things I'm adding here, just to get the conversation going, whatever happened to the things that we should be doing? I myself have been prone to have those procrastination fits. Finding out that my car is a potential firebomb and it's getting looked at, and I've been down for like 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks this Sunday, which means I'm leaving money on the table. A whole lot of myriad of things have been snowballing to the point where it can feel like all that pressure, the deeper you go into the ocean, you start feeling. All I got to do is keep my legs kicking. Know the level I need to go to and stay in my lane. It's very difficult for me to be patient with the process, but I'm trying. I feel the same way from my brothers out there too. A lot of us are not in the situation that we desire to be in. As I've always said, some guys are in some real bad situations, being homeless, trying to figure out a job, trying to maintain a peace of mind and sanity. All myriad of things that we're all respectively working on. But what are we willing to do about that? Since we're out here in the ocean, and we already know as men, you start finding out no one is looking to help us most times. But we need to celebrate, appreciate the ones who are willing to do so. Now, granted, the ocean is very vast, but it goes in understanding your environment, but more importantly, understanding yourself. Knowing who you are, what you're made of, or start learning what you're made of. Then you'll be able to do your damn thing. I'm suggesting you guys start doing the things that you've been always setting aside. So I started off by talking about making your bed. That's one victory. Actually, success is about momentum. If you start making your bed, you start realizing you need to start cleaning up your room. When it comes to doing things in this space, evergreen content usually isn't easy because you have so many ideas and you're prone to being creatively constipated. Take the time to write certain things down. Or use a digital recorder. That way you can hear yourself and prepare yourself. That way you get out that fishbowl. Be mindful of the spaces that you congregate in or you're clinging to. If it's not productive, you can get a little bit of amusement out of it a while, but after a while, you start wondering, what am I doing with the finite resource that is my time? Try to monetize that hobby that you love. Finish those programs that you were looking to do. Learn how to take some courses to improve yourself. That way, when you're not just a fish out of water in an element that you're gasping in, i.e., guys being socially awkward, lacking confidence, not just in themselves, but what they were able to do. Learn how to talk to people. Learn what it is that you want and need by paying yourself first. Going to the clinic to get the understanding of what you need to do, where you're at, and how to move. If you have a significant other there, learn not just their love language, but yours. Learn how to establish your boundaries. The reason why I'm saying all this and many examples and more is because a lot of times we are that little fish that fell out the fucking bowl. Flapping around on and offline, gasping for air. In this case, we're gasping for relevance, attention. Be much more than a cheap-ass super chat because somebody shot you out. Give yourself the proper shout out by stepping outside your comfort zone. Go walk around. Learn how to adapt and be in this world, but not of it. Fishbowl filibusters, especially for us, are fatal if we allow them to be. Me saying I'll never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin isn't just a phrase I'm going to put on a shirt because I'm going to monetize that. It's a way of life. It's how you start writing better chapters in your life. Hence why I entitled my channel, The Book of Ronin. Learn how to nurture the inner child within yourself. Because what you see in this space and abroad, there's a lot of inner children who are crying out. And instead of allowing this space to remain a fucked up orphanage, it needs to be a mass division, military division, a battalion of brothers working together, growing, promoting agency, not just within themselves, but amongst each other. That way we can amplify our voice, not just verbally, but across the board. A lot of our complaints are and concerns are legit. But sitting around in that little fishbowl, all you're doing is blowing bubbles. And who cares about a fish blowing bubbles? All they know is at least that fish is alive doing what it needs to do. Entertain me. So what I'm asking you in closing, are you content with being a goldfish that's trapped in its own little pseudo environment? Or are you going to be an orca who's out there flipping seals all over the place, doing what it wants to do, being feared yet respected? Are you going to be food? Or are you going to move like a killer whale? Shout out to the OG Freeze Love. Killer whale is one of the most intelligent fish out there. Mammal, really. When they show up, you don't know it's too late. That's how you need to move as men. You keep what you kill. When it comes to spiritual warfare, you start seeing it every day, what that phrase really means. Shout out to you guys. I hope you understand what this means about these fishbowl filibusters. Oh, and two, I create a lot of phrases and things like that because I decided to get out the fishbowl and stand out on my own. It's a beautiful thing to be unique, to be original, doing your own thing, walking your own path. That sets you apart. And you don't do it for the approval of other people. You make thine self approve within. So let me know what you guys think. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. And as always, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Semper Fi.